Hello and welcome to the final stream, the last two races of the UMR International. Let's see, we've got talk around food going on coming into this one, and cheese making it to a stream. Rare occurrence with the times, but good to have everyone here. Good to have you all here. So we have two races this stream, of course, and it is the last two races. Superboss with quite the lead going into this. Shady, Moo, and Boer very close behind. that is true. It has no ladders. It does actually have a ladder. Is the version that I've got incorrect? Because I've literally pulled it a few minutes before going live. It has one giant ladder in my version. Do you want to quickly check that before we go in? Yeah, there is a ladder. There we go. So, before we jump into this one, yeah, there's a ladder and then the portal. Yeah, okay, cool, we have got the right one. So before we jump in, Snorker's very nicely put together an interesting, I don't know how it's calculated exactly, what system was used, but a interesting prediction sheet based on everyone's results and where they can finish and the probability chart. So we'll just quickly go through some of the stats for the top four, I'd say. Now, of course, we could have a surprise winner. There are some very low odds below the 1% that that's still a chance. But Superboss being the favourite with 76, well, round up 77% chance of winning and around a 20% chance of coming second. Shady has an 11% chance of winning, a 30% chance of coming second, 25% chance of coming third. Moo has a 7% chance of winning, 23% chance of second, 24% chance of third, and a 20% chance of fourth. And Boer, a 4% chance of winning, 16% chance of second, 21% chance of third, and a 20% chance of fourth. So there are top four. Now, I also did ask in the Discord chat who you thought would win the UMR International. Also, noticed the background music's not being picked up yet again. OBS really liking to do this to me at the moment. There we go. And it looks like it is split between Superboss and Boer. We also had a vote for Shady and a shock winner vote, which I'm guessing was Cheese, because Cheese then put me underneath. So, there's the maths. And yeah, top 10 do still have a chance, even if it's really small. But there is a chance. The only way to find out is by getting into the races. So, El Salvador, let's head over to the first track of the stream. Here we are, and I'm sure this is a great view for people to see from the get-go. If you know what this is, you best be scared coming into this race. Because I'm sure it was looking promising with the top, well, excluding Superboss, the three following were, words in order. Excluding I'm reading the chat at the same time, it's distracted me. Excluding Superboss, the top three are near the front of the grid, which, you know, you'd think would be really good going to this race. However, we have an elimination race, elimination styled race. So, who knows what could happen. So we have a crusher, we have a ladder. You know, it's not an overly complicated track. But predictions could be interesting, so let's get everyone spawned in. So, Boer, Shady, Eggbot and Alfonso on the front row. Superboss, Snorker, Weep, and Azert on the back row. And I don't think it's going to matter too much that Superboss is at the back and Boyer is at the front here at this race. I think this is going to be all down to surviving and consistency, getting through that crusher. 10 laps, if everyone can even make it around 10 laps. And let's do predictions. So 2 minutes to get those predictions in. How many DNFs do you think there will be? Didn't update to a faster version. Well, you know what? It's fine. We can cope with the one. So from the get-go, you go straight into a portal. This will shoot you up top. And you know what? It's nice and calm. Some wiggles, some nice open straights. To be honest, this isn't even the worry. It doesn't even matter what position you're coming down here. Maybe on the last lap. Then you drop in, and this is where we enter the danger zone. Heading down the split section here and over to the crusher. And following the crusher, a ladder. So this is all you've got to be worried about here. Is this big crusher. This is a thing that could ruin your day. So we will see what happens. Factory track is rare. It is. We don't often see one. I do it as last mile standing every time. I can understand why. We could lose everyone from the get-go. And I think it might be the first time. I don't think we've had a factory map appearance at all. You might be right with that one. So, as the prediction timer is coming to an end, let's get the countdown started. The lava barrel could also DNF marbles. There you go, another heads up. So they'll go into the portal, so we'll go up towards the top so we can see them coming out. And here we go, Shady and Boer up at the front. Shady with quite a good line. Who's got more speed? Looks like Boer has a little bit more speed heading down straight. We'll get a bit of a zoom out so we can see what's going on with everyone. They've got running a bit slow. You can see Iceman and Pesky Bird coming through there as makes it through as well, just sneaking in front. And coming around, Cheese is running slow. But you know what? As long as they keep moving, running slow isn't necessarily a bad thing here. This is definitely more of a marathon than a sprint. And Superboss really trailing behind. Not sure what happened there. Now we are coming to the first trial. First run through the crusher. Is it going to drop yet? Is it going to drop? There's the drop, which is good news for those up at the front. Although Snorker actually getting eliminated there. I've never seen that happen with it down. And Jimmy getting eliminated as well. I'm not sure how Snorker got taken out there. I've never witnessed that, and I've actually done some tests on this map a few times, just playing about with track builds. So that was pretty crazy. Superboss could be in trouble here. That's Superboss out, and that is big news in the standings. That is huge. Superboss going to be securing a 16th. And that's going to really shake things up here. And things have just got even more interesting for the final race. But we'll have to see where everyone else finishes. So yes, F's in the chat for Snorker, Jimmy and Superboss. We do not have a special F emote for the Crusher. So you'll have to use one of the other ones. What's going on with Cheese? Cheese is still moving. Cheese did make it around. Iceman running a bit slow. Boy's going to give them a push. Demon, Pesky Bird making their way around, going up to the front. That is no worry, Cheese. So, dropping down once again. Demon will be leading into the danger zone this time. Iceman just found Iceman with a good bit of speed. A big hit. Demon's going to lead down the hill. The objective is to survive, and that's good for Demon. The Crusher dropping early. Not good for those behind. I think Boer and Weep might get caught here. I think Weep actually made it through. Boer and B getting crushed. And that is not what Boer wants to be seeing. Would have been hoping to pick up some points here to try and get out of 4th. Would be wanting to score ahead of Moo and Shady at least. But not looking good for this first race. Superboss is definitely not going to be an easy one to catch. And heading on to lap 3. He's still going slow and steady, but surviving. Picking up a position at a time as everyone else gets wiped out. Now Flu's going to squeeze past Iceman. So far, everyone up at the front has managed to time it very well through the Crusher. It's been the middle section that has suffered. That has probably really messed up your chances. There's probably still a chance, but that definitely won't have helped. So Flu's with the fastest lap currently. Getting down to the Crusher once again. Let's see the timing here. Is Iceman going to time it just right? Again, being up at the front is proving effective. The timing is good. And that's going to be Shady and Weep. So Shady won't be pulling too far away from Boer, which means there's still going to be a battle going on in the final race. But Moo making it through, that is big for Moo. And then Cheese. Steady. I don't think the timing is going to be good this time around. I think it's going to be a little bit too slow. No. The slow and steady, timing it just right, and making it through. Rooting for Fludes and Eggbot. While currently Iceman is leading the race. Fludes in second, Eggbot in third. Yeah, as you're saying there, Iceman, I think that's what happened to B. I think Weep made it onto the ladder. I think B got a bounce back. Because I'm pretty sure B went through the Crusher in front of Weep, and then B got eliminated and Weep made it through. So you've got to be careful. Flude's running a bit slow, dropping a few positions. Maybe a tactical move, we'll have to see. It's either going to be beneficial or it's going to cost. There's only one way to find out. I'm heading down to see what the timing is like here. Is Iceman just slow enough for it to do another cycle? Yes, timing it just right. I mean, home track. Iceman made the track. Gonna know the cycle. Azur just sneaking through. So you could argue a bit of an advantage on the timings. Demon just getting caught by that one. Alfonso and Moo making it through to the ladder. And then Cheese. Here comes Cheese. Cruising down towards the Crusher. Very close, but it makes it through. Now going on to lap 5. Iceman still leading. Azur now in second, Eggbot in third, Pescibird just behind in fourth, Fludes in fifth, Alfonso sixth, Moo seventh, and Cheese will be going into eighth. Azure with a bit more speed on the straight here, closing that gap with Iceman. Not so good in the corners though, Iceman will get better exit speed. And we have half the grid remaining. Heading up to the drop down. Is Cheese stationary or just running, so just slowly going along? Okay. Down at the bottom, let's see what happens here for Iceman. Iceman does time it well. Azure also getting the timing. Will we see everyone make it through? No, Fludes and Pescibird just getting caught at the end of it. But Moo does make it through, and now for Cheese. So yes, more Fs in the chat. Fludes and Pescibird out of the race. Victim to the Crusher. Now will Cheese make it through? I don't think the timing is great this time around. And that is it. That is Cheese's cruise of a race. Slow and steady, finally over. So Cheese will be finishing in 8th. Pescibird 7th, Fludes eliminated in 6th. And still holding the fastest lap. Could be getting an extra point for that. But it's looking good for Moo right now for points. Got a battle going on up at the front between Azure and Iceman. And so far the consistency has been good up at the front. Timing it to perfection. And that would be a bold prediction. Superboss to P16 twice. And an Iceman double win. Is that going to be the jinx? There it is. There it is. The South Jinx Eggbot with a risky bounce there, but does make it through. Alfonso gets wiped as well. And Moo is going to breeze through. And we are down to the final 3 Fs this time around for Iceman and Alfonso. And we are down to Eggbot, Azure, and Moo. Oh, we've got some split predictions here. Going on to lap 7. And speed the time up a little bit more now. So Azure, then a gap to Eggbot, and then a gap to Moo. Moo with a lot of speed is going to come flying past Eggbot. And I see the Hydrate as well. Got some nice fresh water for this. Ready for the final stream. Being prepared. Now heading down the hill. Too many laps remaining. Well, if everyone goes out, everyone goes out. So Azure goes through. Oh, it was a big bounce. That was close. That was close for Moo. Very close. I think. Oh no, I was going to say everyone's timed it well, but Eggbot with that wonky finish. Oh no, I guess calculated, just holding off. So up at the top, Azur still holding the lead going on to lap 8. A bounce was very close, but Mu holding strong. And it's looking like this is going to be huge for Mu in the standings. So back up to the top. Eggbot really starting to trail behind, but it's still a 3rd place currently. So trailing behind when there's only 3 going around isn't the worst. Heading down to the Crusher once again. Azur's timed it well. Here comes Mu. I think they've all made enough of a gap to time their runs well here. The bounce backs are very risky. It's a big gap to Eggbot. We'll see what happens with the timings here. The Crusher goes up. Eggbot coming through. I don't think this is going to be timed well. And Eggbot is no more. The egg is splatted. And that leaves Azur and Mu still going. So F's for Eggbot will be taking 3rd. And over a 4-second gap between 1st and 2nd. Lap 9 of 10. Will we see Azur or Mu make it to the end? Azur dropping down. Mu follows. The pain of the lost eggs on the predictions. And that's Azur gone. Mu just has to make it through, and Mu closing the gap enough. As long as it's not a bad bounce. Perfectly executed. And that is Mu through. That is F's for Azur. That is Mu taking the win. And with 1 lap to try and make it through to the end. Even though it doesn't matter, the win will still be there. And Mu make it to the end of the race. On to the final lap. And you know what? Seeing as there's 1 running, let's get a marble cam on this one. Yeah, I see it getting requested. I'm already on it. And Mu's just going to take their time. Just cruising down the straight, nice and slow. But let's zoom in a little bit as well, get a close-up perspective. Dropping down. Here we go. Let's add some drama to this. Let's slow things down. Here we go. Coming up to the Crusher. And the timing is just right. Mu's going to fly through. And there we go. Mu clearing it for one final time. And that is how it's done. Let's zoom out a bit now. Clear winner. Surviving to the end. Crossing the line. There we go. All of those DNFs. Blue's holding the fastest lap. Basically from the start. Mu, the only one to survive all the way to the end. Congratulations to Mu on the win. It's going to be interesting to see what happens in the standings here. Superboss with a 16th, Moo with a 1st. This is going to be huge for Moo going into the final race. But first, predictions. Now, I know some people got this right. We have 2 correct predictions. And also we had a few incorrect predictions, thinking we'd have a few people still going. But complete prediction. There we go. Well done to the prediction winners. Enjoy those eggs. Save them up. Spend them well. Eskibird and Boer. Over 2k eggs. That is a good win. Unfortunately for Boer, due to regional rules, no eggs. So enjoy your eggs, Peskibird. But that was quite the race. We want more stats from Snorker. Well, is there enough time? Is Snorker still in the chat? Can Snorker put together the stats in time for the break and for the next race? If so, then yeah, we'll go through them at the start of the next race as well and see what the probability is for everyone. But now, I'm going to go put these results over on the leaderboard. I'll be back in just a minute with the updated standings. The results have been entered. So let's head over to the standings. And just before we do, yeah, Iceman, if you want to post a bit, if you're able to, within the time, on what positions are needed for who in this final race to take the win or to take second or third, feel free. And yes, Moose still running, just flexing on everyone, showing how it's done. Yeah, if you want to post that, like I say, if Snorker's still there and can do it, or if you want to put yours in, then pop it in the race discussion on the Discord while we're on the break. And we'll check it out at the start of the next one. Or even at the end of this one, depending on how quick it can be done. If I'd just seen Snorker type in there right now. But let's head over to the standings. So, Moo with a dominant performance this season, 4 wins, the most wins out of everyone so far, and Cheese still holding the most fastest laps as well, with 3 fastest laps. But Moo jumps into the lead with 354 points. Thank you, Snorker. Yeah, I've seen that on my other screen. I've got it up and ready. Superboss dropped down to second with 348. Shady in third with 330. Azur now in fourth, pushing Boer down with 327. Boer being pushed down to fifth with 317. Cheese in sixth with 309. Eggbot in seventh with 307. Peskibird eighth with 302. Iceman ninth with 300. And Jimmy in 10th with 293. Then we have Demon, Alfonso, Snorker, Weep, Fluids, and B. And in the team standings, Tutti Frutti at the top with 320, Eternal Darkness second with 312, Green Slushies third with 310, Doge Bulls fourth with 307, and Grandmasters fifth with 306. Then we have Ultraviolets, Icebreakers, Snowballs, Marble Minions, and the Bulls of Steel sitting comfortably in 10th. So only the top 4 can win, as Iceman says. Top 9 can finish in 3rd. But Cheese still saying they're going to win. Have to pull off something magical for that. Seriously magical. So yeah, it's still close. Still very close. Does that mean Boer is officially now out of the runnings for first? Yes, I'm also looking at Snorker's probabilities as well. We'll go through the actual percentages at the start of the next race. But just as a brief overview, Moo obviously odds on to win it right now, but Superboss good odds as well. Much lower odds for Shady and Azur. But yes, the top 4 are the only ones that can win. Boer can pull a second. Low odds, but it can be done. And then everyone down to Iceman. Oh, everyone down to Iceman can get third. So top 9, yeah, as you said, top 9 can get third. And I don't think we need to go through the 4th, 5th and onwards. Although B has a 95% chance of finishing last. I'll just put that out there. Now that can be, odds could be defied there. Fluids does have a 5% chance of getting last, so you know, could have a battle at the bottom. We'll see. But yes, there we go. That is a little overview going towards the next race, but we'll go through a bit more on the percentages at the start of the next race, and for those watching on YouTube, the start of the next video. But for those on Twitch, we of course have the next race coming up very soon. So for those watching on YouTube, that is it for this video. Make sure you tune in next time for the final race at Argentina. But thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next one.